So we are moving on to the next session, which has been arranged very kindly by UBS as part of their Thought Leadership series. To tell us more about this session, I invite Mr. Nicholas Wright to join me on the stage. Thank you.
Morning all. So this is a first for me because I'm a marketing guy. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of UBS Wealth Management. And I am rarely, if ever, amongst the most formally dressed individual in the room. So I'm normally the guy in jeans, but I like this place. It's good. Look, there's a fair question to ask. Why is the world's largest wealth manager getting involved in the Brain Forum and getting involved in brain science generally? And other than to meet great people, it makes really good business sense. And I want to put that in the context of three lenses, really. The first is the society in which we, as a large bank, do business. And I think the sense of the pressure that longevity is putting on society, both now but increasingly so in the future, is becoming well documented. And UBS has been part of that journey. I think what is less well documented is the lever that mental stress and Alzheimer's in particular will represent to that longevity story. I think we all have a duty to be clearer in distributing that message, and UBS is very keen to be part of that. I think the second area is that it's good for our clients. In the context of our clients, it is both enlightening, but it also exposes very interesting investment opportunities. What we're finding as the markets become tougher, people are now turning to alternatives that they otherwise wouldn't necessarily look at. Alternatives in particular around impact investing. So yes, investing for an investment return, but also delivering some good back to society. You may be aware of an oncology fund, which was the first real commercially available impact solution that was launched by a large bank, by UBS, at the beginning of the year, raised just over $500 million within 3 months of launching. So our clients are very, very interested in investing in opportunities that will both give a return, but probably more importantly, deliver a positive impact on society. And then the third area why this is significant as a business opportunity for us as UBS is on our employees. And what we're finding is that as our industry becomes increasingly more commoditized, as technology starts removing what is normally seen as a competitive advantage of being a large-scale player, the pressure on the employee is ever increasing. Our employees, we see, will be the competitive advantage of the future, but with that comes added stress. And therefore, it's in that context that I'm keen to introduce to you Dr. Aki Hintsa, who is leading and working with UBS as part of the sustainable performance culture that we are trying to ingrain throughout the organization. Dr. Aki is a friend of UBS through our partnership in Formula One. He has a fantastic philosophy that was inspired through his time in Africa, working with some of the world's best distance runners. And picking up on a balance that gave them the competitive edge. In 1998, he was brought into the world of Formula One, which you could argue is the best funded and most exciting laboratory you could ever find, maybe with the exception of Google, where he worked with McLaren in its day, the most successful Formula One team. Came very close to a chap I'm sure you all know by the name of Mika Häkkinen. Took Mika from a near-death experience to being a world champion. And is now leading Hintsa Performance. Hintsa Performance is a collection of over 30 experts that are taking the philosophy born out of Ethiopia, tested and made robust through Formula One into many of the boardrooms of the large companies that you know and perhaps do business with today. So it is a huge privilege to introduce to you Dr. Aki Hintsa.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, very nice to meet you here this morning. Actually, I live 11 minutes away from this site, so my trip this morning was very easy. Last night I came from London, and the trip was not that easy because it was medical case on board, and I had to take care of that. And my adrenaline, which opposed my sleep last night, was not working on behalf of me. But we will manage this morning. So yeah, 55% of your potential performance, according to senior top executive business guys, is only used when you do your daily activities. What this means? If you think that you have 100% potential in your mental performance, when you work in your office or wherever we work, we use only 55%. This is the average what we get out when we ask, tell me what is your potential in your work. When I ask Formula One drivers, actually today we work, our services are used by 12 drivers. So we have quite good number of an experience of drivers working in the most challenging motorsports in the world. They say that 80% of success is coming from mental performance. So rethink your own success, and today I want to talk individually to you. Actually, I have to tell you the same issue. I told the audience I was last January. I had a privilege to participate World Economic Forum, and I had 2 own sessions there. But then also I was invited to Steve Jobs Foundation's dinner gala, and I had colleagues, 2 Nobel Prize winners, and 1 top scientist of cancer research in the world from MIT in the same panel. And we had a short introduction of ourselves, and I said, I'm very sorry, because I can't give you any deep theoretical knowledge about our fight against cancer. But unfortunately, I have something what my colleagues don't have. I have cancer myself, and I'm fighting for that. And I can tell you of experience and give you practical hints how to fight, how to succeed. Actually, I shouldn't be here anymore, because 1 year ago I was promised only 2 months to live. But like my Nobel Prize colleagues, I'm not Nobel Prize winner, but they said that, you are doctor, you are the medical miracle, a walking medical miracle. Write the book. I said, yeah, I will. So, I'm 57, born in Finland, made my medical school there. I have now 3 different specialties. And actually why we are here together today, or I am here, it's related to my time in Africa. Why did I go to Ethiopia and East Africa to train young Ethiopian doctors to make war surgery? It was because of my sports career. I thought, even when I was 16, that I will be a professional hockey player. I had good chance for that. Some of my friends with whom I played, and I think I was even better than them, they have Stanley Cups now. But my father was very old-fashioned and traditional Finnish guy, and he said, you have to study first, and then you can do whatever you want. And And it was a disaster. It was shocking news for me from my father, because he denied me to go to US, and I had to continue my studies. But then, like my grandma, whom I respect still and respected a lot, he gave me advices when I was a kid, and he said, Aki, whenever you have something special, if you have a challenge, remember, you can tell this to the God, and he will help you. So I said, God, now I have a problem, because I have not studied a lot. My father pushed me to studies. I have played hockey, and now I have to go to, I tried to go to university, but let's make a deal. If you are there, and I don't know if you are, but if you are there, like my grandmother tells, I believe that if you have created the whole system, you hear me now. So let's make a deal. You help me to go to medical school, I will be the medical doctor, and then I give some years of my time to you. Voluntary, free, let's make a deal. 1 year later, I was in medical school. 8 years later, I went with my family to Africa. And instead of 1 year, which we were supposed to stay in Ethiopia, we stayed there 3 years. It was my university, second university. I learned a lot. The first time, can you imagine? First time I realized that there is some big mystery in the success. As a sportsman, like I was before, and already working with European athletes, I was already involved to finish Olympic medical team, and we are training so much in Europe, and these African guys, Haile Gebrselassie and his team, they overlap us, or our runners, in 10,000 meters. How is this possible? They have to have some secret. And I observed, and I got good friends with Haile and his team. Actually, I operated quite many Ethiopian runners, and I realized they have no secrets, or they have, but it's not secret like I thought it should be. When the guys came in the morning to training, sometimes I overnighted in Haile's home, and 5:30 in the morning he knocked to my door, and, "Doctor, are you awake?" I said, yes, I'm awake. And we have to go training, and when the sun was rising, Haile and his team, they were laughing, they were joking, they had good time, and they started their morning training. 3 hours, 4 hours training. I compared this to what I had seen before in the best sports facilities a human being has ever created. We have huge sports institutes in Scandinavia, in Norway, in Finland, Sweden. And when I compare these Ethiopian runners, who actually they didn't have anything what I thought they should have to make success, they came, they were laughing, they were joking, they had a passion. They had a spirit. Then Finnish athletes, when 9 o'clock in the morning, when they came to breakfast in the training center, they came like this, and again on one day I have to make training. I said, this had to be mental, this difference. And in Ethiopia I built the so-called logical framework approach of human high performance, integrating physical and mental part, connected with core, which I tell you later. When I made this, let's say that the philosophy, I didn't think that it's any philosophy in those days. It was just my hobby, because we didn't have electricity in this jungle hospital I worked. So it was nice to have romantic candlelight and draw some pictures on the paper. But this is how this logical framework approach was built. Vital elements of human high performance and well-being integrated together. And my aim was to create something which helps help people in future to create better life, to be happier, and also perform on the higher level. This is the picture of our philosophy, and everything is integrated together. Already here I shortly heard about the previous presentation, and I'm very, very keen of how nutrition can empower, right nutrition can empower our mental performance. We have some experience of that, and this is part of our program as well. In all elements, these 6 elements which are in the first layer, physical activity, nutrition, sleep recovery, biomechanics, which means how the body works, it's more orthopedics, mental energy, and general health, how they are integrated together. Think about, it's like a wheel. If you have flat spot somewhere and you try to drive, this is like bang, 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 bang. It's not nice. It's really restricting performance. We do everything nicely, everything. I make physical activity, I eat well, I have a fantastic body, I'm strong with my mental energy, and I'm otherwise healthy, but I don't sleep. Everything will collapse. I do everything very nicely, but my nutrition is rubbish. What happens? Everything collapses. It's question of integration and balance, and driving force is core. Years ago, I was in one project with Finnish government, and our prime minister asked me that, Aki, it's very nice, but where is commitment and motivation? We all know that we should eat well and we should sleep to empower our brain, but we don't do that. Where is motivation? It is inside. It is in the core. And this is very interesting, this core issue, but I will highlight this a little later. Like you heard, after my coming from Ethiopia in '98, I got a telephone call from Mr. Häkkinen. He is Finnish guy. He was driving Formula 1, had a bad accident in Adelaide 1995. Almost he died. He came back, started driving, and I had never met him. And I thought that Formula 1 is not sports at all. I didn't regard it like sports. For me, it was more like business. Here's Mika Häkkinen. I said, hi, Mika. And I said, why he's calling to me? And I have heard about you. Can we work together? I said, perhaps we have to meet first and talk a little more about the issue. And he came to Helsinki. I went there to meet him. And after 3 hours, he said, okay, we make a deal. I said, okay, I can help you. Is the deal until the end of this year? He said, no, it's forever. I said, okay. I didn't believe that it will last forever, but yeah, we are still almost like brothers. And Formula 1, believe me or not, it has been the most fascinating laboratory, and it is still, for our high performance philosophy and methodology. Why? Because we can, in more traditional sports, sports it's more clean, it's more pure, clearly sports, physical activity, training. Formula 1 is very complex, like life is very complex. If someone has very easy and simple life, I would love to meet you after this session, and you can tell me how is this possible. So life is very complex. In F1 and the business world, it's very much like Formula 1. Think about CEO of the big company. Can he come in the morning to work? Oh, I'm so tired, I can't anymore, give me the rest. I have to take some days off. And what is this guy doing? He's weak. He can't say that I'm weak. And this is why when we ask them that what is the performance level individually, the average 50, I perform 55% of my potential. Then the next question, what is your assumption, what your colleagues say, what is your performance level? It's 85. From where is the gap? It's a mask. It's the mask, what we are using not to reveal our weaknesses. F1 is the same. If you don't make results, you're out. It's tough. It's very tough. And also, we are calling those distracting factors. Media. Even you don't want to read media, at least you hear about that. What did they write about you, what you have done, and if you are good or bad, and your weaknesses, your strengths, everything. You are like you are publicly offering yourself to the world through media, and it hurts usually. This is factor number one. Then stressors which are related to environment, traveling, chronic jet lag, sleep deprivation. And sleep deprivation, we know that how much it's influencing to our mental performance. And if 80% of success is coming from our mental performance, and people, they have to travel, and average Formula 1 driver stays 250 days out of his own bed during the year, so in hotels. And those, I remember when I started my Formula 1 career and going to all races, my assistant or my PAs, and I came from somewhere from Australia or Singapore or somewhere, China, and then, Aki, how was your holiday? And I said, what? This was not holiday, I was working. Yeah, but you stayed in hotels and you were flying. I said, yeah, this is from you. Those of you who are flying a lot, you know that you start to hate that. In the end of, I stopped traveling. Now my team is working in F1, and there are other better doctors than I am. But until 2013, I was in more than 200 races around the world, more than 3 times the world in 1 year, and I started to hate my luggage. When I came home, I put it to cap, and I said, my wife, take everything out, and it was real. It is, this Formula 1 is like business world. You have to get results or you are out. You are not allowed to show your weaknesses. You have to perform even you can't perform. It's complexity of the present time, and you are available 24/7. It was around a year and a half ago, I got a call from London, and my colleague, one professor, called and said, Aki, can you check my friend, he's actually my patient now, he's CEO of the big international company, and he got very strange attack. It was Christmas Eve. This gentleman, 49 years old, he was going to his home after very, very tough week and weeks. In Waterloo Station, he realized that I don't understand what are written on signs. And he went to police and said, I should go home, but I can't read these signs. I don't understand any more reading. And he was taken to hospital, take MRI scans and everything. Nothing was found. And they from London, he came then to see me, and I thought, what is your life like? Every week I travel either to US or Asia. Saturday mornings I have my management meetings. So his life was action, 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 and finally his brain said that, okay, it's enough now, we stop here. Similar stories, many, many. And it is question of, I already mentioned it before, that 80% of Formula 1 drivers' success is related to mental performance. This is why we work a lot to empower mental performance in their sports. But also, before I mentioned about Haile and his team, I realized that even they are long-distance runners, the power is coming from their mental potential and mental capacity. It was very funny. 2000 in Olympic Games in Sydney, the best European long-distance runner after the Games, he came to see me and said, "Wow, you know this Haile?" I said, "Yes, I know Haile very well." "Do you know what happened to me?" I said, "No, but tell me." Before the 10,000 meter race, Haile came to the dressing room, the cloak room, and he was looking to me, and when I looked to his eyes, I lost all power of my legs. And yes, this is quite dramatic point for this European guy, because he had trained 4 years to be in the Olympic Games and win there. But then comes some guy from Africa and looks to him and poof, no legs, no strength in legs anymore. And those, if there's here someone who has met Haile, you know that, because the charisma is like Kofi Annan or some this kind of, who just reflect something special power around them. Haile is one of those. We have talked about Mika Häkkinen, and yes, we know Mika and I. We know each other very well. We need self-esteem. I have to know who I am. I need my self-confidence to be successful. And in Formula 1, I already mentioned, what is very, very demanding part of the business. Just now they are driving, they are making the practices in Monaco. And on Monday I was called and said there was one driver who has had many promotions, a little bit all over now in between two races in Barcelona and Monaco, and he has not been able to sleep well. And they were panicking because he couldn't sleep. He's not able to perform on his top level. And there are some very interesting studies, and I'm very privileged to work with top scientists in the world. Stephen Logley, who is in Harvard University professor, he's head of our science team of sleep and recovery, with Professor Partinen and also Russian Professor Hanin, and we do individually sleep programs to our clients, because sleep is so important to get our brain to work well. And with business people, very often when they come to see us, they are very proud. They said, I don't need more than 5 hours sleep per night. The toughest guys, they said, I need only 4 hours, like Margaret Thatcher. But then when we make the test, okay, let's make 1 week test. You sleep now 8 hours, and see what is the difference. Because we know that only 1% of us here, perhaps few people have the DNA or in our genes. We have a special code that we really don't need that much sleep, but 99% plus we need 7 to 9 hours sleep per night to perform well mentally. And majority of our clients who are making this test, they said, I didn't know that I can perform so much better if I sleep well. But sleep is very important, and this is why it is part of our wheel of this high performance. And what is very interesting is that our body, those guys are not lying who are saying that I feel consistently same, even I sleep 5 or 6 hours per night, because we are adapted to this situation. We don't know that we can perform better, but it is like when we ask business CEOs or leadership team members of big businesses that, do you think that you would send some of your employees, your staff members, to very important meeting without not sleeping at all previous night? For sure not. And then we said, okay, still use you yourself. Your mental performance is declined just exactly the same amount that this kind of guy who is not sleeping for one night. And this is why everything what we are doing we are calling in Hints of Performance, we have the medical evidence. We want to keep in medical evidence and evidence-based studies. So this is one of part of the and very vital part of the system, that we are not typical the company which is in well-being company, but we come from the medical domain, and we want to keep there. And then we come to the next point. It was I think that 2014 or 15 when we found out something new from our brain, that the lymphatic circulation is cleaning the brain when we are sleeping, and this is why we need sleep and recovery, and we have to calm down. And years ago, there's one engine guru, the guy who is inventing the best engines in motorsports. I talked with him, and because for me he was super intelligent, and he's super intelligent guy. I asked, what is your secret? Tell me, what is your secret? How? Because you are so super what you are doing. He said, my secret is that if I have to invent something special, something new, completely new, how I manage that? I know that the deadline is, for example, deadline is 14th of June. So I take 2 weeks off. I go to my mountain chalet. I sit down there and just look to emptiness. I don't do anything. And suddenly it comes like this. So we think that we are so dynamic and we are so powerful, we are very innovative when we work hard like crazy. And even we wake up during the night to look our emails so that we are not missing anything. But according to our experience, but also what we know more and more about how our cognitive system is working and how we produce. The brain is like the muscle. It needs also recovery time. Remember that. We need recovery to our muscles to get super compensation, but this is also the question of our brain. They need a break. They have to charge the batteries. This is why like the one cornerstone in our philosophy, we talk about energy management. Not only energy management in the body, but energy management in our brain. And I remember I was in meeting with one CEO, and he wanted to know why it is so important that his employees and his staff is feeling well and they are fitter. So I said, okay, I asked him that give me 3-4 days, and we will observe your company, and we observed. They came 8 o'clock in the morning to work. They left 7-8 o'clock in the evening. And when asking these people, what are you doing 6 o'clock here? Some of them they were very honest. Actually, we are not doing anything, but we don't dare to go out because it's a culture here that we have to stay, even we don't have anything to do, because then they thought that I'm loser if I go home too early. And but I said, this CEO, look, you pay now 12 hours. You pay this guy 12 hours salary per day. He has his OPs, his VO2 max. When we measure that, it's much below the average of his gender and age. According to the research, we know that how he's only 1 hour per day or 2 hours per day active. So you pay minimum 10 hours of nothing. So this is why we need like athletes, we have to be clever to train our brain and train our body to give good nutrition and also rest and recovery. So there are nutrition, exercise, sleep. They are just the vital parts. And like the Prime Minister of Finland more than 10 years ago said to me that we know that this is good, but we are not doing that. WHO said that the statement from last year was that more than 55% of chronic diseases are based on bad habits in our lives, and they are behavioral problems. This is where we want to attack. We want to be proactive. We want to prevent problems. And in addition to prevent problems and diseases, byproduct is high performance. Now we have worked with more than 100 gold medalists in Olympics and World Championships. So we have some experience of high performance, but the common rule behind high performance is human well-being. And actually it's very difficult to separate mental and physical performance. You can try if you try to think that, and you realize that it's very difficult. Always they are integrated together. Then, very interesting part, which is a little bit reflected to this slide, is also the emotional control system. We work a lot with emotional controlling, also in business world, but in athletes, in sports. And this is the one kind of guru of this emotion control profiling is Professor Yuri Hanin. And it's very interesting because we are individuals. We don't. Okay, here are two guys in the front row, and you are a very bad car driver. You are a very bad car driver, and you will be depressed. Oh, sorry, this guy is saying I'm a bad car driver, but he is saying that, oh, I will show him. So, what was the difference? Emotions. I'm hurting with my words. Negative emotion, and one guy takes negative emotion and be depressed. Other one takes it like trigger, and I will do it better. I will show him I'm better than you will tell me, oh, I'm better than you are. And this is how we work. Some if some person is said, you are so good, fantastic. The lady goes, Aki, you are a fantastic speaker. And then yeah, I'm very good, fantastic. And then I forget what I have to say. Or then, you're a fantastic speaker. Then now I want to show more. And do you know, when looking at sports people, the danger to underperform is more on the positive side when we give too much compliments. And it is very interesting. But then we have to know our own emotional profile. Usually we have minus emotions which give us good performance, empowers our performance, and plus emotions, so positive emotions which give us more performance. And positive emotions which actually decline our performance level, and minus performance which makes us inactive. 80% in Los Angeles Olympics, it was a study that 80% of gold medalists failed next year. Did they lose their skills? No. But they couldn't handle the situation emotionally, and something happened in their mental performance that they couldn't anymore perform. Perhaps they were too happy with this gold medal. Perhaps they had reached the goal and their objective. We don't know. This already I mentioned. Improving our cardiorespiratory, so endurance fitness, it really it has a massive impact to our cognitive performance level. And success is more than just blind passion. We are talking about how we integrate different elements of this high performance wheel and logical framework. What we can do with emotions, how can we use our emotions to empower our performance mentally. A lot of very practical tricks. But then I promise you something special. This is the core. Everything starts from here. And the first question when a new client comes to clinic, we ask, tell me who you are. Who you are. And it's very interesting. More than 80% of people, they can't tell that. And those who tell, or the person who tells me who he is, he usually starts to tell that, yes, I'm CEO of this and this company, I have worked in here and there, and I didn't ask that. I asked that who you are. What you mean with that? What are the values? What are your values? What kind of person you want to be in 5 years? And like this gentleman from London who couldn't anymore read the signs, his life was 95% to be the CEO of the company. But he said that I wish to be a good father for my children, and I wish to be a good husband. This is my main target. But I will do it when I will run 5 more years this company, and then I will retire, and then I will do that. 1 year ago, I had a little bit tendency myself to think like that. But when you were told that you have only 2 months to live, I tell you, the priorities crystallize in one moment, in 10 seconds. Yes, the mission and to talk to you today is very important for me. It's my mission. If someone will get some clue of this talk, so that you give time for yourself, you give time for those with whom you have unconditional love, you will be happier, and you will feel better, and you will be healthier. The target and my objective has been, it has been done, and completed. this is absolutely, I want to work. Yesterday I talked in London. But still, now when I go home, I switch off my phone. And my colleagues, sometimes they are mad because I can't reach you. I said, no, I'm with my children. I'm with my children. I love to play with them. I go to park with them. And I'm not working now. And I tell you that it has not, this I believe so, and some people have told that, it has not declined my performance level, even it has improved, because I know who I am now. I know the purpose of my life. It's to help and serve people. But it is also to be father for my children and better husband I have been before. The control mechanism. It's question of like let's take, for example, using alcohol. It's very tricky point. Many of our clients they are not alcoholics, but they have problems, and they drink too much. When I ask how much you drink, perhaps 10 shots a week, then we count, and it is not 10 shots, it's 30 shots. Because tendencies for us is to think always positive way. And then, I said, hey, why you drink? Yes, because there are business dinners and I have to drink. I said, no, I don't believe so. Yes, but you know that it's very difficult to say no, and it's like automatization in my brain. I said, okay, let's make a test. This is the medical test. Because for me, this is not passive and not autonomic nervous system who is telling you and who is driving you to drink. I remember one guy, he was a little bit annoyed because I took the glass of wine in the middle of the table and said, okay, now I want to see how this alcohol jumps to your mouth. You are joking with me, he said. I said, no, I'm not joking, absolutely. I just want to show you. Your cognitive system gives a command to your hand, extend. Then your brain says that, grip. Do this. Yes, it's not automatic, I control. Now I stop gripping. I can control, now I grip him. And I thought that he will hit me, but then he took it seriously. It's your control system. If you want to control your actions, you can. If I take my phone, there's the button. I can switch off if I want to control it. It's a question of what we allow ourselves to do. And this is why when we talk about core, it's mandatory to understand who we are, what we want. And there are so many funny stories with that. One gentleman who had since 18 years old, he had been after his father died, he had the responsibility of the family company, his family, everything. 40 years old, he had managed very well, but he was miserable. He had a tailor-made suit and the umbrella here. Even he was not British. Nicely colors were matching to everything, and I thought, this is perfect guy. And but why he was miserable? This is not what I want to do. Since I have been a child, I wanted to have the restaurant somewhere in the Mediterranean, talk with people, and blah blah blah. This is what I want to do, and to take my family there and children there. And why you are not doing that? I can't, because the system controls me. Okay, let's take small steps. And okay, make active decisions what you want to do next. He came after 2 weeks, and can you imagine? He showed me like, look, doctor, it's a tattoo. He started to live his life. A little tattoo. The next thing, he bought Harley Davidson. And then he started to be, he came to my office with his jeans. I start to live again. I said, fantastic, this is very good. So this is core. A strong identity. I know who I am. I know exactly what I want. It makes you successful. If you are an athlete, you have to know that. If you are in a Formula 1 car and you dream, you hope to win, I tell you, don't win. When you are in Formula 1 car, you are sitting there and I know I will win. You have a good chance to win. Knowing is completely different than dreaming. We need dreams, and dreams they are giving us purposes. But when we filter our dreams, we take our priorities. We are talking about purpose and higher purpose. The purpose might be all the projects what we have and what we want to control, but higher purpose, they come on board when you are in the corner and everything is, and tomorrow will be taken out from you. The person without purpose is not feeling well. If you want, you can read, for example, Viktor Frankl's books and how his dreams, how his purpose, the concentration camp during Second World War, it gave him strength to continue, and he made it. The success and the mental performance, physical performance, integration of our potential is not a peak, or it should not be a peak. It should be a sustainable journey. And like we always say that, don't try to be perfect. If you try to be perfect, you will fail. Just be a little better tomorrow. Tomorrow, eat a little better. Look your nutrition, improve it a little bit. Improve your sleep a little bit. Improve your physical activity a little bit. Look after yourself a little more. In your mental energy. Control your emotions. Find your own emotional profile. And remember, we are just tiny spot in the Milky Way, and when we understand that, even Formula 1 is not the most important thing in the world. So I think that this was my talk today. Thank you very much.
Dr. Hinster, that was so interesting. I think you'll need to sign us all up to come and see you privately. We've got a couple of minutes for questions, if you're okay, just to stay for a moment or so. I think lots of hands are going up, but this lady in the front row, I don't know if we can get a microphone to you quickly. Is that all right? It might be easier than you coming out. Just hold on one moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Very impressive. Very needed culture and help to everybody with your presentation. Thank you, Saad, for giving us this opportunity. And now you talked on the importance of sleep. And I'm one of the people who, most of the things I do, but can never have time to sleep. This is, I think, it's a common thing. But I would like to see how the influence of drugs on normal sleep, because what we go to ask for the doctor, I cannot sleep, they tell you here is something to make you sleep. This is something it's almost, even in the new generation, it's becoming very common, nobody can sleep normally. Now, how can we overcome this problem? I have a lot of questions, but I'm afraid
That's a very good question. How do we improve the quality of our sleep? Thank you.
Yeah, and especially the use of drugs to keep people asleep.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, madam. It was, thank you for your compliments. I'm very touched. And the question is very good, and it's extremely common among the clients we have. And Yes, to be honest, first of all, always when it's like we talk about the sleep program. It is not a program, but advice is how we first try to normal and natural way to enhance our sleep patterns. Especially with the youngsters, it is very common problem that they are addicted to internet and all the devices. They do this too late in the night, and because our brain is very tricky. If you switch off your computer, the brain is not switching off like computer. It is still continuing. It's still working, and very often, most of the cases, we have good success when we said, okay, we reorganize the life. How we eat in the evening, what time we eat, what we have when we have physical activity during the evening. Then instead of watching TV or internet, we read Dostoevsky. Start Dostoevsky, and you think that you never will end it. Yes, and then some people they feel that very good influence to help sleep is also to have some like the classic music. There are a lot of things, and surprisingly often those help. But what you touch, it is the key point is that we have environmental distractions around us so much that it leads steadily but firmly to these problems of sleep. And then, yes, shortcut, which is not good, is to take medication. It is sometimes we have it is like the temporary solution to help, but how we see it's not the permanent solution. The permanent solution have to come from balancing the life.
Let's just take one more question, and then we're going to have to wrap up the session. Thank you. Do you mind taking the microphone? Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm from Hong Kong, and a lot of the things that you prescribe, towards peak performance and this kind of thing, is actually antithesis to Asian cultures. If you look at, the Tao and meditation and these kind of disciplines of going with the flow, if you will. Would you care, your focus on control and a lot of these kind of things. Would you care to comment on that? Thank you.
Interesting question. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad you're answering it and not me.
Perhaps good way to answer to you is that I have very many Asian friends. Perhaps they have influence to my thinking as well. So it's good, very good point.
Okay, I am going to wrap up this session, despite the fact that we could probably talk for hours. So once more, warm thanks, please, to Dr. Hinster.